Alright, this was gonna be a Is It Wise to Smash a Dark Elf Waifu video, but then I thought about it. Of course it's wise to get with a Dark Elf. Could you even think of a man in the world that wouldn't get with this? Chocolate! 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 Bruh, a gay man would turn straight and smash a Dark Elf. The KKK would smash a Dark Elf. Uncle Ruckus, the most racist anime character to ever exist, would finally admit that he's black and smash a Dark Elf. Of course, though, I'm not saying that a Dark Elf is just a black person with pointed ears. Oh no, I'm not saying that. I mean, maybe in anime, but in anime, they consider this a Dark Elf. I mean, where's the darkness at? Inside? Does she have a dark personality? Don't look like it. Can you see it? Can you point to where you see darkness on this elf at, viewer? If I'm having a dumb door to explore ass moment, please tell me. Because I can't find the darkness in this very, very, very white elf. Where is it? Is it under her skirt, under the table, in them cheeks? Where's the darkness at? Anime always does this. They take a concept that should be straightforward and to the point. You know, common sense. Dark elf. What makes a dark elf a dark elf? I don't know. Let's brainstorm for a second. Let's see. Maybe the darkness of her skin? You couldn't even make her tan, brown, or any other shade, just white. This don't make no damn sense. She could be whatever color she wanna be with a booty like that night. Baby girl got back. Shut it! Booty will not distract me from this outrage. Where's the rest of her? Where's the chocolate? The fudge, the milk chocolate, the cream, the caramel. I will not rest till I figure it out. By the way, I believe this dark elf's name is Ariana. From the anime, Skeleton Knight in Another World. You can watch it on Crunchyroll right now. It has like 1 season. Great anime. But I despise the fact that they call her a dark elf. Her bad self and her hot, sexy mom. God, I made her just like cupcakes and the chocolate really is inside. Is anyone else getting hungry? In early Germanic folklore, dark elves were mysterious and elusive creatures. Damn, they're more like black people than I thought. They were often associated with the underground and hidden realms. Ugh, they're just like me for real. Every time a cop sees me, that was a someone with the underground. Well, 12, maybe I'm just going to the grocery store to get the milk. You ever think about that? Huh? I feel mad connected to these dark elves right now. Power to the people. Now, these dark elves were seen as basically the opposite of the light elves in Norse mythology. They were called Dunkelfor, and they were often linked to darker aspects of nature and human existence. Just like me, damn! So anyway, dark elves lived in this place in Norse mythology, and I cannot pronounce this word. No matter what I do, I cannot pronounce this word. I even looked up the pronunciation of this word to make sure I said it right. And I still feel like I cannot say this word correctly. It generally feels like it's not meant for my people to say, because it sounds so foreign that I cannot say it. Listen to this.
Svartalfheim.
What the hell?
Svartalheim.
Man said that word like he casting a spell. Why that one word sound like it got 100 syllables in it? And ain't none from the English language. Like you don't have to make a word sound so complicated. This place is basically just like Compton or the Bronx. Y'all think I'm blind? Listen to this. This place is depicted as a dark labyrinthian domain located deep beneath the Earth's surface, almost like another kind of underworld besides Hell's realm. I don't know about y'all, but that sounds like the hood to me. I always knew dark elves were straight out of Compton. There's just something about them, I can't put my finger on it. They're black! Are they, voice? Let's find out. A dark elf's skin color in Norse mythology is described as being darker than pitch, reflecting their underground home. A dark elf's dark complexion is meant to mirror the shadows of their homeland. They should be darker than pitch, and their complexion should embody the very essence of shadows. I also read on a site called the Company of Goblins that they can be described as having ghostly pale skin, glowing red eyes, and clad in blue-gray armor. So more or less same thing, the dark, the black. Not really meant to be brown like how you see in most animes, or tan for that matter. They were darker than pitch black. You understand what that means, viewer? That's darker than a pitch black African man standing in a pitch black room smiling. Or maybe that's around the same level of black. Either way, same thing. In a pitch black room, you probably couldn't see him, which is honestly kind of scary because
what they doing? What they stealing?
Now I joke, but just imagine meeting a dark elf in his homeland. First off, I probably wouldn't be able to find him that easily, and you're probably more likely to run into this guy.
Would you know the way, my brother?
And I immediately be like, no Uganda Knuckles, just because I'm black does not mean I know the way. No one knows the way. Just a black guy and his black dog lost in the hood of Norse mythology. But you know what? I know what I would do immediately in that situation. I'd tell a joke, and when the dark elf sucker would start smiling, there'd be like a flashbang going off. I mean, most of y'all know y'all can't see a black man in the dark till he starts smiling. Just imagine a dark elf with a dark complexion smiling. Man's will probably have a smile that could scare ghosts away. Horrific. But god damn, he got them pearly whites. What kind of toothpaste you be using, my brother? I'm trying to make my teeth shine too. Y'all think I'm playing? With teeth like that, I could be my own flashlight. And I would have grills in my mouth that would specifically say the words, let it shine. It's perfect. Now, in Christian folklore, thanks to this guy called Snorri Sturluson, who was a historian, poet, and politician, who wrote the book called The Edda, many people perceived dark elves as bad or evil. Which, just to make this clear, this was in Christian folklore, and Christians had a way different perspective of what elves were. In Christian folklore, dark elves were blamed for causing disease to cattle and people by using something called elf shot, which is a type of crossbow, bolt, or arrow. The arrowheads could also be used in rituals by both elves and witches. Now again, this is specifically in Christian folklore. In this folklore, dark elves were blamed for almost everything, from a tangle in hair, called an elf lock, to sudden paralysis, called an elf stroke. They were also thought to be the bringers of bad dreams, and it was believed that the nightmares were a result of the elf sitting on the dreamer's chest. So, long story short, and it's just my opinion, but this is also kind of obvious, the Christians saw that dark elves as demons. Real shocker there, right? Now, obviously, dark elves weren't a central figure in Christian folklore, but because they were called dark elves, they were obviously associated with evil. Now, I'm putting it simply, but that's basically the way it was. Now, in Norse mythology in general, the dark elves were known for their association with the earth and darkness, and their actions often reflected these attributes. They could be both creators and destroyers, and this suggested that the moral alignment was more complex than simply being evil. The dark elves had magical abilities, and apparently they were skilled craftsmen. However, the craftsman part may be because in Sturluson's book, The Edda, the line between dark elves and dwarves is a little bit blurred. Now I'll explain that further. This is basically what it says in the book. Snorri Sturluson calls elves light elves, while explicitly using dwarves, black elves, or dark elves for dwarves interchangeably. It also apparently says in his book that the dwarves live in the same place as the dark elves. But I also read that Snorri is the only source that sets up this dichotomy. In other words, it may just be how he perceives the two creatures because of his personal religious views. But either way, unless you're a Christian, none of this is going to stop you from smashing a dark elf. So, with that out of the way, let's get to the main point. Who is the best dark elf waifu in fiction? And this question is more challenging than you may think. People everywhere already think that normal elves are hot, but you add chocolate? God! Dark elves are different in many different works of fiction. For instance, in Tolkien's Middle-earth, the elves of the darkness, or just aka dark elves, are basically called dark elves because they did not join the great journey over the sea and behold the light of the two trees in Valinor. And the light elves obviously did the opposite. They went on the great journey and beheld the light of the two trees. Now in Dungeons and Dragons, the dark elves are called Drow. They're depicted with dark skin and white hair and are generally, but not exclusively, evil. But enough of that talk. It's time to talk about the waifus. And I'm gonna leave it up to you guys to decide who's the best one on this list. And the first one I'm gonna talk about is the one I talked about earlier. Oriana, or Ariane, from the anime Skeleton Knight in Another World. Now she's a 50-year-old, thick dark elf. And I mean seriously, she's described as having long slender legs, wide hips, and big old tickle biggies. Not those words exactly, but you get the point. Giggity. Anyway, I'll just discuss the elephant in the room. How is she described as a dark elf in the anime? Dark elves in this anime are supposed to look different from other elves. Instead of being pitch black like in folklore, or tan skin or brown, dark elves in this anime are supposed to have amethyst colored skin, yellow eyes, and white hair. And all the female dark elves are literally unmatched in voluptuousness. I don't know about you, but that's good enough for me, as long as she's thick. The anime does do a bad job at like showing her purplish or amethyst colored skin. It generally doesn't really make it obvious. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I honestly consider her like a whitish elf. And I really couldn't tell the difference between her and the light elves. Maybe it's just me at night, but who knows. Now in this anime, humans are jealous of elves. And because of this jealousy, many elves are hunted, persecuted, and enslaved. So yeah, you already know where the manga writer got their inspiration from. Like one of the first episodes, Ariana is rescuing some slaves, some elf slaves, from these, I guess, traders or like these racist people. And this is around the time she meets the main character, Ark. Either way, that's her story. As far as magic powers go and her equipment, she uses a silver sword at first. She wears ground dragon leather armor, and her magic consists of earth spirit magic, fire spirit magic, and wind spirit magic. And in the manga, she does apparently get new swords, but that's not important for this conversation. Could she be considered one of the best dark elves in fiction? She thick, literally. And she does literally fight slavery, so, you know, I'll say she's a good pick. She at least in the top 20. Come on now. Anyway, next one up, Pyrotis, from the anime Record of the Lobos War. Other than Pyrotis, she can also be known as Sharu in the story, and the site I found her information on calls her a shamanist fighter, but before she met the Black Knight Ashram, she was an assassin. And apparently she really likes Black Knights, because instead of killing the Black Knight, she joined his side. Oh really? Shut up, Oreo! I am black and you will acknowledge that! You do nothing but cry because I will acknowledge nothing! Nothing! So anyway, what was I saying? I personally honestly didn't like this one at first, but after watching a couple of clips like this one,
God damn!
気配が殺せぬ者に密偵は務まらん。
しばし寄るところがございますゆえ。
Hey, wait a minute, there ain't no Black Knight. He's wearing black armor, he has black hair. That's good enough. Where's the rest of it? You call me an Oreo, I'm blacker than he is. He ain't even got a black hairstyle. He ain't got the fresh, drag-like cut like I do. I got that fresh cut too, costs like $40. Yeah, you got ripped off. What? And this is a Japanese anime, so of course he looks Japanese. And before you start talking about dark elf waifus, maybe you should start working on your pickup game with AI waifus first. Oh, you cut me. Oh, you cut me deep. Well, it had to be done. You betrayed my trust. I thought we'd end this together, but you betrayed me, and you cut me. You stabbed me in the back. But you know what? I've tasted my own blood. I've licked the wound. And I may not be much of a Black Knight compared to this guy, but I am an unhinged knight. So my response to that cruel statement, shall and shall always be, F you. Get your edge up like me and Dragon, maybe we can talk some shit. Tell me when you find it, cause I'm still looking. Now, power to his looks definitely grew on me, which is why she's in the thumbnail. In her profile, she's described as a figure of graceful beauty and a deadly skill. Not much else to say about her except for she is a great old school dark elf. And damn! Next one up, Arceus Nay from the anime Bastard. And I have beef with this one for a specific reason. This girl is in love with the main character of the anime, Dark Snyder. But I mean, every woman in this anime is in love with this guy. And I don't know why this pisses me off so much, but I hate characters like this. You know, the main character who always gets all the girls, or the girl character who always gets all the guys. It's really annoying. Because for me, it just breaks my immersion. For one, this guy can be described as a womanizer and somewhat evil. And as a matter of fact, I watched the anime and this guy really isn't that good of a person at all. Yet somehow women still like this guy. And I forgot to mention the fact that Dark Snyder is reborn in a little boy's body. Now hear me out. Dark Snyder is not only reincarnated in a little boy's body, but he is also her lover, Arceus Nay's lover, and her foster father. Yeah, he basically raised her. Their relationship is weird on so many levels, and she has every reason not to like him because he eventually abandoned her to basically sleep around with other women. Now, the main thing that pisses me off about Arceus Nay, the main thing that pisses me off about her character, she allied with Dark Snyder's enemies. And before she fights Dark Snyder, she tells her allies several times she will not betray them and that she will kill Dark Snyder. I remember this verbatim, she says this. And only
A few moments later,
she falls for Dark Snyder's womanizing ways and betrays her allies. You lying jerk. I mean, I know they're bad guys, but Dark Snyder is just as bad. I mean, what is it about this guy that ladies love? His hair? He just looks like Anger Inuyasha to me. I can't really see why they like him so much. But anyway, let me get to the point. Arceus Nay is a half dark elf, half human. She's about 117 years old and she's known as the Thunder Empress. She has enhanced strength, longevity. She's a sorceress, so she does have magic. And I don't even have to explain that. Any character in fiction that has magic can basically do anything from pulling a rabbit out of her hat to dropping a meteor on your head. In other words, she can do a lot. Main point is, she's hot, but she is rather easy to seduce, especially if this is her type. I mean, really, come on now, she can do better than this. Any woman who sells for a man who sleeps around and is known as a womanizer immediately gets my disrespect, because she can do better than that. I mean, have some standards, please. And again, he's basically possessing a little boy's body. Now, Dark Snyder is 400 years old, but Lucian at the beginning of the anime is 15. Like, I get it, it's an anime, but damn, this plot is weird. Alright, I got two more for you. And the next one's one you may not have heard of. We gotta talk about Zana from the Ball Buddy comic. And her mom, God! Now in this story, her mom is the queen of the Dark Elves, and they take men as, slaves. Now I couldn't find her mother's name anywhere, but she apparently has some level of magic power, and she has enough skill to catch her daughter off guard in a fight and attack her, and land a decent hit. She also canonically seems to go through 3 men a day. So yeah, she's a little slutty. Now, her daughter Zana is a princess, but she's the princess that's third in line, and according to her mother, that means she's expendable. And she was apparently trained to be more of an assassin than a princess. Her mother apparently sends her on quests to kill people all the time. And let's see, how else can I describe Zana? Ah, here we go.
You, pretty boy, I like you!
And I want you. Now we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Yeah, this is basically how that conversation went, minus the fear. Now, unfortunately for her, because of her mom and his father, he's now all of a sudden her stepbrother. But is it gonna stop her? Hell no. You know what kind of story this is. Now, she is bad, but tell me who you think is better, her or her mom. Moving on, last one. And honestly, I have to say this one probably just wins, just straight up. You know the one I'm talking about. We already showed it once. And yeah, she's from a Not Safe for Work video. Now, we can all put up a front like we don't know who she is, but you know. Her videos have more likes and views than any VTuber or OnlyFans girl alive. So look at me real good. You know. And it's okay, I'm not judging. Because because I low-key watched it too. Giggity. Now, who is she and what is the plot of this story? Well, without getting into too many of the not safe for work details, her full name is Olga Discordia Alexandria, and she was the queen of the Dark Elves, at least until the Men attacked, the Fire Nation attacked, every other nation attacked, the Tentacles attacked, the Goblins attacked, the Orcs attacked, her own loyal knight attacked, people of her village attacked, and then eventually she just gave up and became a slave. The end. Tragic! But I guarantee you she brings happiness to men everywhere till this day.
To this day!
Yeah, but there's more. Pure Dark Elves in this universe are rare and even rarer than High Elves. Dark Elves in this universe consider themselves very noble and they look down on other races, or at least they did. Giggity. Olga also possesses unparalleled skill as a necromancer and a sorcerer. She has the ability to enhance physical abilities of her alliance several times over. Now other than that, a quick not safe for work search on Google will tell you all else you need to know. Now realistically speaking, she's for the streets. I don't even know if it's really her fault, but she got ruined. And I mean ruined. The girl's basically under the streets in hell. But tell me your opinions about her in the comments, and tell me who's the best one on this list in your opinion. Or maybe you don't like the ones I chose. That's okay, I'll do another video eventually about Dark Elves. But until then, leave your opinions in the comments, and you guys have a great day. Bye!
Son.